Good morning. It's good to have you join us on Nigeria Now, showing on your digital first Pan-African news network, TOS Television. My name is Merciful Ajinamo. This morning, there are big stories on the newspapers in Nigeria. And of course, we'll be looking at some of these stories with our analyst in the house, Adebayo Fajimi. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We begin with Leadership newspaper. The big story there is party primaries and electoral act. Staving off litigations, President Muhammadu Buhari asks Malami, Amaechi, Silva, 5 others to go. That's on page 4. The first rider says, Nuajuba Onu Akpabio resigned from cabinet, others to follow. Uncertainty trails Amaechi's resignation. I will consult with Mr. President and my people, says Ngige. Appeal Court sets aside judgment on Section 84, subsection 12. And the next one, it will stop impunity and illegality, say CSOs. APC adjusts timetable. Governorship primaries now May 20th. National Assembly May 24th. What is your take on this action by the President Muhammadu Buhari, saying that some of these people have already resigned, but some of these ones that have been mentioned, Malami, Amaechi, Silva, and 5 others. What is your take on this story?
I think, firstly, what the president has done is very good, and it's what many of us have been yearning
Clamoring
to see before now. It's just quite unfortunate that some people are just like wheelbarrow, even as leaders, that until you push them, they cannot do anything on their own. And not because they cannot do, I think it's because we don't have a sane system that try to hold you accountable if you go or do anything against the law. Of course, it has been expressly, expressed. I mean, it has been expressly, pointed out in the Electoral Act that if you want to do this, of course, it is very necessary for you, to leave your office, resign, so that you can focus on your ambition. Because how can you be in public office and at the same time you are having political ambition? How do you want to combine the two? How do you want to justify your service and how do you want to justify the hold of your office? It is not done anyway. So I think it is very important, and whoever reviews it, which I believe that none of them will ever want to dear Mr. President, none of them want to dare him. I want to believe sincerely that all other people or those who are yet to comply will strictly comply as time goes on.
Yeah, we'll wait for that. That's on the Leadership newspaper. From the very top, we see APC presidential funds. I didn't collect 200 million naira from Jonathan, says Governor Badaru. And insecurity, Masari shot Batsari Jibia Road. That is on page 6 of the Leadership newspaper. We see then PDP discards zoning, throws ticket open. That's on page 7 of the Leadership newspaper. And besides the picture of the day, bandits kill Colonel, 7 other soldiers in Taraba. Bandits kill Colonel, 7 soldiers in Taraba. That's on page 7 of the Leadership newspaper. We move over to the Daily Independent newspaper, and the big story there is primaries. Appeal Court insists political appointees won't vote. The writer says they won't be voted for, can't be candidates for election. That's on page 29. Sets aside judgment voiding Section 84, subsection 12, sees provision as illegal. And now we have an appeal court insisting that political appointees won't be a part of the process by, casting out their ballots. What's your take on this?
Well, I think I've mentioned this, earlier, that there is a defect, in that electoral act, and I think was it yesterday or when that Senate President also made mention that there is error, there are mistakes in that
has to be corrected.
Yes. So well, it negates what we have in the Constitution, because if you are a public office holder, you are not liable to cast your ballot, I mean to vote in party primaries, and you cannot even file for political office, because automatically you are disqualified, and that is against our Constitution. So that tells you that there are little mistakes in the Electoral Act. There is no perfect institution, no perfect Constitution, no perfect Electoral Act. We continue to work towards perfection, but I think what matters is so far this has been made. What is expected of the concerned individuals is for them to, adhere to this thing, at least spending the time, because that's the best way to show Nigerians that, see, we are responsible and we want to make this nation work.
By leading by example.
Yes, by leading by example. But if you say, okay, this thing is not good, it negates our constitution, and by the reason of that, you are doing contrary, to what has been, passed in the law. Of course, you are not shown by, you are not leading by example, and that's the best way, to lead. You show me, you lead by showing the way. Do you understand? So I think whatever the case it is, I still very much believe sincerely that our lawmakers, our policy makers, will continue to look at it and see how they can better amend the electoral act, so that all other peoples or those who are concerned now or later will not be disenfranchised, and they will be able to exercise their rights as citizens.
Definitely agree with you on that one. That's on the Daily Independent newspaper. From the very top, strike. Buhari's CSOs hold meeting with ASU, NASU, others today. Buhari's chief of staff holds meeting with ASU, NASU, others today. That's on the front page right there. And we see NJC issues policy direction on handling political election-related cases. Recommends appointment of 49 judges. That is on page 9 of the Daily Independent newspaper. And still on that paper, just the lower banner says 2023 election, Onu Nwajuba Akpabio quits cabinet after Buhari's directive. And then we see a story right there. One dies as gunmen attack JAMB officials in Lagos hotel. That's on the Daily Independent newspaper. On the Daily Trust, the big story, of course, is still Buhari, others, Amaechi, Malami, 7 other ministers to quit to save governance. That's the big story right there. On Nigeria News Direct, same story. In compliance with Buhari's directive, Akpabio, Amaechi, Onu resign. Ngege, Malami, others risk sack over presidential ambition. And then on the Nation newspaper, quit order how Buhari shocked ministers at FEC, talking about the same thing. And from the very top, government moves to restart talks with ASU. That's on page 29 of the Nation newspaper. On the Punch, we have the same story right there. Buhari bows to pressure. APC panel may demand resignation letters. That's on page 2. And let's look at Blueprint from the lower banner there. Just the last headlines on the Blueprint newspaper. Just at the very bottom right, we see Nigeria's GDP improved by 3.40% 2021. That's coming from the NBS, Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, right there on page 17 of the Blueprint newspaper. Of course, this looks like a positive news, but how do you react to the statistics talking about our gross domestic product improving by 3.40%?
Yeah, it's a good news. Well, but I think we Nigerians can still do more, and because if we are not increasing, in this area, of course, there is no way we can say we are the leading economy, whether in the whole Africa or we are, one of the leading economy in the world. So, but I think, what really matters, when we talk about this is how does it really affect us as a nation? How does it affect, an African Nigerian? Because recently we read in the news that, we talk about budget deficit and the rest like that, and you can see, so when you are spending more than what you are earning or what you are producing, you can know. So whatever we say we are just celebrating is just going to be a nomenclature, so it's not going to have any effect. But I believe sincerely that this is a good news, but I think we can do more such that whatever we are doing, so you can have a direct positive effect on on African Nigerian and the entire and the entire citizen of Nigeria. So it's a good one for Nigeria.
All right, that's right there on the Blueprint newspaper. The lower banner of the Blueprint newspaper says showcasing First Advance First Bank PLAS on Workers' Day. That's on page 18. On the Business Day, we see Nigeria can't keep nurses it needs. That's the big story right there by the very right. 7,000 nurses, midwives migrate yearly. That's coming from NMCN on page 30 of the Business Day newspaper. On national economy from the very top, Nigeria's GDP grows by 4.03% in third quarter of 2021. That's, of course, an offshoot from the story we just spoke just now on page 5 of the national economy. The big story is Nigeria may lose vehicle imports traffic to Benin, Togo port. That is on the National Economy newspaper. And don't forget, you can always catch us on many stories, of course, and updates on the stories we've read this morning on our news website. That is www.tostvnetwork.com. And our social media platform is at TOS TV Network on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Be sure to stay engaged so you do not miss out on important updates and information in Nigeria, across Africa, and across the globe. Thank you for joining us at the Power Fajime this morning.
You're welcome.
And thank you, viewers. We come your way again tomorrow on Friday for the last edition for this week of Nigeria Now. Until then, bye for now and stay safe.